The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Happy Honda Days are back for the most wonderful time of the year at Team Honda. The savings are high on every new Honda. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, you'll get top value for your trade. Happy Honda Days from Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend a little time with you and yours roughly some 24 hours ago. We start today's show talking about the anticipated weather forecast here in South Louisiana. Reading to you from the website of the ABC affiliate here in the capital city, WBRZ News 2. For today and tonight, most of your Wednesday will be quiet but mild. Temperatures expected in the mid-70s. Tonight, a cold front will bring a line of showers and thunderstorms through the area. Most of the rain will be east of Metro Baton Rouge by daybreak. One or two storms overnight could be strong, but overall, the severe weather threat is low. Now, looking ahead, after the front passes on Thursday, another upper-level disturbance will pass to our south, bringing moisture into the atmosphere with temperatures at or near freezing Thursday night into Friday morning. Any precipitation that falls may be in the form of sleet and or freezing rain. As it stands right now, according to the meteorologist at WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge, snow is not likely because temperatures aloft will be too warm. Overall, the accumulations should be light, but obviously we need to watch for hazardous road conditions. Anytime there is the possibility of precipitation freezing on the roadways in South Louisiana, you all know what that means, right? Yep, we're going to be tearing up stuff like it's nobody's business. We can't drive when it's clear and dry. And now you're going to throw potentially rain, frozen rain, sleet, possibly snow on the highways. Start making your game plan now, guys and girls. This ain't our first rodeo. We've been here before. We know what to expect. So word to the wise should be sufficient. There is a distinct possibility Friday going to be pretty ugly. So make sure that the pantry is stocked, because we are talking potentially 4 nights in a row with temperatures at or below freezing. And here in South Louisiana, it's just not something that we're accustomed to. So if at all possible, for Friday into the weekend, possibly as far as Monday. Be prepared, guys and girls. Do your due diligence. Make sure the homework is done, and we hopefully will all get through this none the worse for wear. It is, of course, that time of year when temperatures drop the way they do with the wild fluctuations and swings. It is also the time of year when house fires plague households here in South Louisiana. It is so very tragic to report to you guys and girls that first responders were called to a house fire early today that killed 4 members of one family in Slidell. One individual is still unaccounted for. The fatal fire, according to authorities, broke out on Constellation Street, which is in the Eden Isles subdivision in Slidell. I can't begin to imagine the grief and the agony that this family and these loved ones are going through. To lose any family member is heartbreaking, particularly in a tragic scenario like this one. But to lose 4 family members at one time, we narrowly averted a disaster here in Baton Rouge yesterday where 2 individuals managed to escape a house fire. I would hate to think that these 4 family members perished because they did not have working smoke detectors. I can only hope that that is not the case. If, for whatever reason, you are still living in a home that does not have a working smoke detector, I did a little research, and courtesy of the good folks at the CBS affiliate here in Baton Rouge, WAFB, Newsline 9, and there's a story there. If you are currently living in a residence that does not have a smoke detector, give them a look at WAFB.com. They talk about a program that the Louisiana Office of the Fire Marshal is offering. It's entitled Operation Lifesaver, and they have made over 2,700 smoke alarms available to hand out to the public. Operation Save a Life deals with 17 fire departments across Southeast Louisiana, and you can get in touch with them, obtain a new smoke detector, and protect your family. I mean, it's that time of year where you find people doing things that conventionally they wouldn't do. But in an effort to heat the home, you find them doing all sorts of things. And quite frankly, the majority of us will never find ourselves in that situation. And it's good to know that the State Fire Marshal's Office, along with fire departments across South Louisiana, are making these tools available for us to protect ourselves. There is, and I want to be careful how I say this, because losing a life in any number of circumstances is tragic. But I can think of very few that begin to approach being this horrific in nature than burning to death in a home. It is something that is too easily avoidable these days. And listen, again, y'all, I get it. I understand. Clarence, you got to realize it's freezing cold in the house and people resort to measures that they normally wouldn't. I understand. I get that. But cold snaps come and go, particularly this time of year in South Louisiana as we ride that ever-present roller coaster. Maybe mid-70s today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you're dealing with freezing temperatures. I get it. But the old adage, the ounce of prevention is worth more than the pound of cure. Be sure, if you haven't already done so, that you go through and clean those space heaters. If they've been sitting in the closet since this time last year, there's probably dust, cobwebs, all sorts of stuff, dead insects that have managed to crawl up in there since last year. And once those coils heat up, if you're not there physically watching it, God only knows what you may look up and find on your hands. It is something that is easily avoidable. And as we head into this weekend, I know for a fact there are a lot of people watching right now that know elderly individuals, some living at home after the death of a spouse, some of them just out there on their own. It's incumbent upon us to reach out to them, check on these folks. They're our neighbors, they're our parents, our grandparents, our friends, former coworkers, whatever. And the sad thing is having to come to the realization after the fact. You know, I had on my mind I was going to check on Mr. Sam today, and I just got too busy and didn't. And next thing you know, you see Mr. Sam's house in flames on the 6 o'clock news. Reach out, guys, girls, even if it means so far as, you know, inviting Mr. Sam to come and spend a couple of days with you and your family until this weather moderates and he can safely, or she can safely, because it might be Miss Samantha, okay, don't want to be accused of being sexist here. You just never know. And I would hate for anyone to have to carry the burden for the rest of their lives saying to themselves, if only I had, or I wish I would have. Kindness is one of those things that you can never possess too much of. You cannot have enough, but you can never have too much. And it's times like these, here particularly in South Louisiana, where we deal with situations that we don't deal with regularly, where that little bit of kindness can go a very, very long way. When we come back after our first break of today's show, just off the top of my head, I will label the next segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show: back shooters, women killers, cattle rustlers, and horse thieves. We'll talk about that when we come back, continuing today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Clarence Bug Show. If you were with us heading into the last commercial break, and particularly if you were not, I prefaced this segment by referring to, show of hands, how many of y'all are out there in TV land are fans of Westerns? Yeah, I can see. I see your hand raised. Okay, yeah, all right, that's what I thought. Yours truly is the same. And I readily acknowledge, I make no bones about the fact whatsoever that I am old school, okay? If you've watched Westerns for a while, you understand that there were things done then that, were we to adopt them today, would probably change a lot about our society. Back in the days of the Wild Wild West, there were some things particularly that society didn't stand for. If you wanted to be convicted on Thursday and hung by the neck until dead at sunrise on Friday, get caught being involved with either back shooting, women killing, cattle rustling, and horse stealing. Those were hanging offenses. The jury would hear the case, and when sentencing was handed down, the next day at sunrise, make your peace with your maker now, because tomorrow morning at sunrise, it's all over for you, Captain. We don't hold to back shooting, women killing, cattle rustling, and horse thieving. Say what you will, but my gut tells me if knuckleheads out there these days thought for 1 second, well, you know, if I get caught doing this, it's going to be 20, 25 years before they carry out the death penalty. In the meantime, I'll get 3 hots in a cot. For the life of me, I can't understand this one. I'll get the best of health care because they want to keep me alive and in good health until they kill me. Still hadn't figured that one out, but I digress. Things would change rapidly. We wouldn't have to hear, like we do today, about the 87-year-old man in Holden, Louisiana, attacked, beaten, robbed, and left tied up in his own home. The pictures that the family posted of the injuries that this 87-year-old man received are appalling. My former pastor used to say, you can tell a lot about a society, about how it treats the elderly and its children. This does not speak well of what we have allowed our society to become. I don't care what kind of shape an 87-year-old man is in. You didn't have to beat this man mercilessly. You didn't have to tie him up, rob him of his valuables, and then steal his car at 87 years of age. Of course, now the bleeding heart liberals among us will make excuses for this trash. Well, Clarence, you got to understand, they had a rough upbringing. They should have come up in the Wild West. Like I said, and we could add one. Senior citizen murderers, women killers, back shooters, cattle rustlers, horse thieves / carjackers. If we ever hope this is going to get any better, at some point, y'all, we got to put our foot down. And speaking of women killing, just this week in New Orleans, broad freaking daylight, woman shot to death while driving down I-10. You know, I'm old enough to remember growing up, there were just some things you did not do. There were some things that were beyond the boundary of decency. Some things you didn't do because you were deathly afraid of what folks would think about you if they found out that you did what you did. Nowadays, obviously, just look around you. There are no more boundaries. 8, 10, 11-year-olds murdered with a degree of regularity that should appall all of us. A woman driving down I-10, shot and killed in broad open daylight. And of course, not to be outdone, right here in Baton Rouge, same day, a 17-year-old murdered in a double shooting. Fortunately, the 19-year-old accompanying the 17-year-old shot but expected to survive. You know, I don't allow myself to think that I am the only person that is sick and tired of being sick and tired. I refuse to think that I am the only person watching all of this ugliness unfold, and I'm the only one that feels this way. So the question then becomes, if we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why aren't we raising hell about this? Well, Clarence, you've said it before. You know, it's just black folk killing black folk. Now let a white guy come in and be involved and watch holy hell break loose. Well, for me, and I understand my life experience is not, quote, typical of everyone. I'm fortunate. Father loved this country, served this country in the military, and as a result, I was blessed with the privilege of living different places around the country, living in other countries, being exposed to different ideas, different ways of thinking, different ways of looking at things. I get it. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, the criminal element in this country has been emboldened. The fact of the matter is, on any given day, it's a crapshoot when you reach for your car keys. Matter of fact, this 87-year-old in Holden didn't even reach for the car keys. Trouble came to his house and found him. Y'all, when individuals in our society have no qualms about mercilessly beating an 87-year-old man, when individuals in our society have no qualms about driving down I-10 and shooting to death a woman, we got problems, y'all. And the sooner we acknowledge it, the sooner we recognize it, and the sooner we decide collectively, enough of this crap, the better off we're going to be. And listen, y'all, we no longer have the luxury of leaving this to somebody else. Well, Clarence, the teachers need to do a better job in school. It ain't the teachers, them your children. I'm sorry, English teachers, I didn't give y'all the heads up on that one ahead of time. Them your children, okay? It's not the teachers' kids. Yeah, but Clarence, you know, the faith-based leaders, they got to do a better job in instilling God in these people's lives. Them ain't the preacher's children, y'all. Them your children. Pure and simple. And the fact of the matter is, they did not ask to come here. You made them. You brought them here. And it is your responsibility to instill discipline and appreciation for the rights of others and the respect for life. If they don't get it at home, you know where they're going to probably end up getting it? In the penal system. You better talk to your children, y'all, because society is rapidly approaching a point. We've had enough of this. You insert whatever expletive you like here. We've had enough of this. Bleep. And when your children get caught up in it, you will have no one to blame but yourself. And sadly, speaking of letting other people do your job, society will be more than willing to teach your children what discipline is about. Society will be more than happy to lock your child up, pay somebody to guard your child, pay somebody to fix food for your child. When had you done this at home, we wouldn't have to have this conversation. An 87-year-old man beaten mercilessly, a Louisianian victimized by other Louisianians, a woman driving down I-10, murdered, a Louisiana woman murdered by another Louisianian. And y'all still not sick and tired of being sick and tired? If you got children in the room, cover their ears in 3, 2, 1. Then damn it, do something about it. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get it done. We'll come back and that sound you hear in the background sounds like a diesel engine. They're warming up the bus. They're warming up the bus to run over Joe Biden. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You've waited, and now Toyotathon is here at Team Toyota. Every new Toyota is on sale with end-of-year savings. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade. The selection and savings are right here for you at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I asked you guys and girls heading into the last commercial break if you could hear that sound in the background. Sounds like a diesel engine, particularly a bus. You thought that was a speed bump, didn't you? That's the mainstream media throwing Joe Biden under the bus. You knew it wasn't going to be long. All you had to do is watch the ever rapidly falling poll numbers and take into account historically what this has meant for an incumbent president, and more important to the Democrats, what it means for the midterm congressional elections. Personally, I thought it would probably happen a little bit sooner, but better late than never, I guess, when all is said and done. The numbers continue to fall. And those of us that have been doing this for decade after decade after decade after decade. Yeah, I told you, I'm old. School. Y'all will catch that later. We understand the ramifications of serious dissatisfaction at the hands of the American people. And in case you haven't noticed, as of late, Americans are seriously dissatisfied with what is happening in Washington. So as a result, CNN this week, CNN LOL, put out an op-ed piece this week. And in this piece, surprise, surprise, they claim, and I quote, headline, "Everyone is excited by the prospect of a Hillary Clinton comeback." You heard me right. Everyone, Democrats and Republicans alike. Now, you could very easily make the argument, and I grant you there would be some validity to it. You could make the argument, well, Clarence, that's just one outlet, CNN. You know, that's probably why 90% of their ratings have fallen off in the last 12 months. You could also make the argument, since they don't have Donald Trump to beat up on anymore, and since they've been caught lying to the American people, bald-faced lies, time after time after time after time, people have figured out this joke of a network is not really worth my time anymore. When MSLSD beats the pants off of you, you're in trouble, Captain. But being the good, loyal liberals that they are, carrying that water for the Democrat Party, CNN knows no boundaries. So now, CNN, in this op-ed piece, says, quote, everyone in the political world, including Democrats and Republicans, are excited by the prospect of Hillary returning to politics. He goes on to say, in this op-ed piece written by two Democrat insiders, they go on to say in this op-ed piece that Hillary would be the most qualified candidate in 2024, even more than President Joe Biden. Now, in case you hadn't been keeping abreast of things, CNN ain't the only one, Captain. Just last week, the Wall Street Journal penning an op-ed piece that said, in essence, Joe, you got to go. It's time, bruh. It's time. Now, the Dems have managed to put themselves in a corner that Orville Redenbacher doesn't make enough popcorn for you to eat watching this movie. They have yet to figure out, well, then again, maybe CNN is either incapable of or really doesn't care, what are you going to do with Kamala Harris? I mean, after all, these are the folks that, spent the better part of 4.5, 5 years talking about racism, 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 sprinkled in with white supremacy, racism, racism, racism. So now you're stuck with a president whose approval ratings are in the basement, his running mate that even his own party didn't want as the second person on the ticket. So now you are flirting with the idea of bringing back Hillary. What are you going to do with Kamala Harris after preaching to us incessantly about them evil conservatives and how racist they are? You mean to tell me you're going to take a chance kicking the black woman out of office and bringing in the white woman? Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be some kind of fun to watch. But you know what's going to be even more fun than that? Before all this happens, the White House announced last week that they have figured out why Joe Biden's polling numbers are so low. They have finally figured it out. Was it because of the debacle in Afghanistan? Nope. Was it because the border is being overrun, southern border, by millions of people? Nope. Is it because crime is running rampant, many cities experiencing the worst homicide rates in 25 years, FBI's statistics, not mine, just released today? Nope, wasn't because of that. None of that. The White House announcing the reason Joe Biden's poll numbers are so low is because he needs to talk more with the American people. So let me get this straight. Let me be sure I understand you here. Joe Biden's poll numbers are so low because he hadn't spent enough time talking directly to the American people and with the press. Now, the inference here is that from here going forward, Joe is going to spend more time on every issue talking with the American people and the press. Y'all do realize, Democrats, that on any given day, at any given hour and any given minute, Joe Biden might say something that we're going to be talking about for the next 40 years. You do realize at any given moment, this guy may say something that leaves Democrats just, oh my God. But you know what's saddest about this? They knew this ahead of time. There is no way on God's green earth you can ever make me believe that the powers that be in the Democrat Party did not know long before the election that Joe Biden ain't all there. I'm trying to say it as nice as I can, y'all. But the fact of the matter is, Joe Biden is not all there. And to add insult to injury, they team a guy, team him up, short as he may be on mental faculties, they team him up with a guy that is with a woman that even his own party doesn't like. You see how they play you? Of course now, this is the same group of people, Democrats / liberals / progressives. This is the same group of people, y'all, that spent all that time trying to propagandize you, trying to indoctrinate you. All the problems in America are because of evil old white men. And who did they con you into voting for? A senile old white man. Oh, but it gets better. Now they're talking about an old white woman, Hillary. Like I said, if you got a few dollars laying around and you're thinking about investing, over Redenbacher extra butter. Because we going to be sitting back watching this movie. But it ain't a movie, y'all. Sadly, it's real life. Sadly, we have alienated our partners around the world because of an absolute cluster of a withdrawal in Afghanistan. Folks are dying every freaking day. Homicide victims, overdose victims at record levels in this country. Border being overrun. Is that what you voted for? You know, there's no way to do it honestly because there's too much wiggle room in that. But I would love to be able to sit down and have a heart-to-heart with all you folks that voted for Joe Biden to see what you feel about the decision you made today. Just a question. How's that working out for you? Just like I thought. Tried to tell you, but nah. Some of y'all got to learn the hard way. Oh well. Oh well. Final break of today's show. We'll get it done. Come back and tell you how, if you really pay attention every now and then, they tell you what they really think about you. That's next when we continue the final segment of the Clarence Bug Show. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonCountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, the advent of the information and digital age has made things so much easier for us as Americans. When it comes to people of influence, people of power, people in the media, entertainment industry, what have you. There was a time prior to the advent of the information and digital age where in order to get a true picture of what is actually going on with individuals, you had to develop the ability to, quote, read between the lines. You would have to extrapolate, okay, they said this, but they did that. Then they came back and said this. But even though they did something else, what did they really mean? You had to learn to read between the lines. I guess with the advent of the digital age, and particularly the internet, stuff that pretty much never, ever goes away once it hits there, unless, you know, it's Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, then they'll do their darndest to get it to disappear. But with this advent of this new technology, many of them now have arrived at a point where they know I said such and such. I know it is out there in all perpetuity. So it really doesn't make sense for me to lie. Why don't I just tell people what I really think about? Enter CNN anchor Don Lemon. As you well know, with the advent of the COVID pandemic, many of us have been pushed to a point in our lives where we question certain things. We no longer, just because you have a title behind your name, we no longer take your word for it that this is in our best interest, or this is the only way to treat it, or this is the only thing that could be considered. We've learned from your example in the past. So apparently, Don Lemon just said, you know what, the heck with this. I'm going to tell these fools what I really think about them. Don Lemon this week said the following, and I quote, "We have to start doing things for the greater good of society, and not for the idiots who think they can do their own research, thinking they're above the law. They can break the rules." So all you folk that's been doing your own research, you didn't know you're an idiot, did you? Quote, "We have to start doing things for the greater good of society," COVID shots, "and not for idiots who think they can do their own research." Now, the last time I checked, maybe I missed it, in the 2 years since the pandemic began, maybe he got on an accelerated education program, and maybe now he's a doctor. Maybe now Don Lemon is a virologist. Maybe Don Lemon is an infectious disease expert. You know what's ironic here? Two things. One, since he's not a doctor, since he's not a virologist, since he's not an infectious disease expert, then apparently he did some research on his own. So is he an idiot like the other idiots he's talking about who think they can do their own research? But it gets even better. It gets even better. You can't make this stuff up. It gets even better. The guy who spent the better part of 5 years, the entire Trump presidency, and every opportunity before and thereafter, the guy who drummed racism, 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 racism down our throats every freaking night. I wonder if Don Lemon realizes the idiots that he's talking about that think they can do their own research. You do realize, statistically, the biggest group of people in this country who have not taken the shot, don't want the shot, English teachers, here we go, in 3, 2, 1, ain't gonna get the shot, are black people. So Don Lemon just called all my fellow brothers and sisters who have been doing their own research, trying to make the most qualified decision for themselves and their loved ones. He just called y'all idiots. Of course, you ought to be used to that by now. I mean, you know, Anthony Fauci has let it be known in no uncertain terms, I am the science. You disagree with me, you disagree with science. Even though he's been wrong on how many things so far? The same people that have called you selfish SOBs that don't give a damn about the health and well-being of your fellow Americans. He's one of them. The same people that have told you over and over and over again, if you disagree with me, you're an idiot. Now, not only are you an idiot because you disagree with them, but you stupid enough to think you can do your own research? You no longer have to read between the lines, y'all. I don't know if, well, I do know to a degree. I do know. This guy is so stupid that he's hoping you're more stupid than he is. This guy, if he truly believed the garbage he's peddling, would have changed his tune a long time ago. You think you can do your own research? You're an idiot. Huh. Now, imagine, if you will, imagine a white anchor saying, you think you can do your own research? You're an idiot. You know what would happen, don't you? Black folk would lose their minds. Well, he ought to know, in New York, the largest city in America, 70% of black folk don't want nothing to do with the shot. You racist, you calling all these black people idiots. Funny how that works, isn't it? Listen, y'all, there is a reason in the last 12 and 1/2 months, CNN's viewership has fallen, wait for it, 90%. What was the moniker they used to use, Marty? The world leader in news, CNN. They have 90% fewer viewers today than just 12 and a half months ago. Couldn't have happened to a nicer group of people. Or, in this case, a bigger bunch of idiots. It's amazing how you will demonize people for something as fundamentally basic to America's liberties as looking at the information, gathering the facts, and then making an informed decision for yourself. Then again, it just occurred to me, maybe Don Lemon got his facts confused. He was thinking about all these black folk that have voted Democrat and don't have a damn thing to show for it. Now, those are idiots. And you can tell him I said so. You can tell him I could care less. I could not care less. Kevin was probably going to get me for that one. And you still watching these clowns? Huh. God bless you, Captain, because you gonna need it. My time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, probably more than any other, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we ain't perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news you gonna get all day, son. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.